Hey friends, welcome to the channel. Today is a third grade recap of the 2025-26 homeschool year. So let's get into it. Okay, so this should be a fairly quick video because I really don't have a ton to talk about as far as my third grader was concerned this year. I did have to go and rewatch my curriculum pick videos from last year or from the beginning of the year because honestly, like I mentioned in my sixth graders video, I could not remember what I had intended to do. And the reason being is because our school year just started so chaotically. We were moving and it took us about a week to move, which was, thank the Lord that we had that opportunity. We were able to kind of do a slow move. However, it really felt, and we've moved a few times in our homeschool. In the 6 years we've homeschooled, one of them was a couple states over, and then we moved again to another state. But this one seemed to be the hardest, and it was the shortest like move in location wise because it was literally down the street, but it felt like such a hard move. And then settling into the house, we'd already started homeschooling. It just seemed kind of bumpy, it was kind of bumpy. So I think I switched some of my original thoughts for the year to kind of make that transition a little smoother for us. So in the beginning, I think in my curriculum pick video, I had said that we were going to do MCP math after working on math facts. Like I had stated that this would be the thing that we move into. We are using it, but obviously we were working on math lessons for living education for the majority of the year, which was a good fit for us. It worked out well. And we're going to continue using both. People talk about using two maths. These are the two maths that we have been using, we will continue to use. And it's always kind of been our two maths. I just never really pulled out MCP and talked about it a ton. But he has done, along with math lessons for living education, he's done MCP kindergarten level, MCP A. He did probably 25% of MCP level B, which would be like second grade. So this is like their third grade. So we are using this as well just to kind of complement math lessons and just extra practice wherever needed because it's just very mastery. So it's by chapter. We're talking on a topic. Like, so here's graphing. And then that whole chapter is graphing all the lessons. Till mastery, there is a test. They do a test after each chapter, and then they'll do a cumulative assessment. So that's like a mix of all of the topics that they've learned and kind of like mixing them in and seeing where your child's at. So I kind of use these as a guide. I use the tests in the Practice Makes Perfect book as a guide, and we kind of just play off each other. Whatever it is that he needs practice with is what we'll do. So that's what we'll continue to do. We'll continue to use this in the upcoming year. So, I mean, the math was good. He's doing really well with his multiplication, division. He's working on it. So we're just going to keep honing in on those math facts, keep practicing. That's a lot of what we're going to be doing through the summer. He still has some of math lessons for living education to do, so that's what he'll be working on in the summer. Because we did start this a little bit late in the year because we were working just on math fact practice, and I'm glad we did. No regrets in that. But because of that, he does have some still to work on in here. So that's what we're going to do with that. Language lessons for living education 3 has been good. This is another thing we may do some additional work in. I think there's only just a handful of lessons left. Otherwise, I'll have just him work on specific topics with me during the summer. we'll work on those. So yeah, this has been good. I am prayerfully thinking about if we were going to stick with it or not. And that's just me prayerfully thinking of how I can simplify. So we may stick with it, we may not. I just haven't made the decision, but hopefully soon that decision will be apparent to me. But I'm waiting. I'm just trying to sit in it and see what would be the best option for us going forward. And it would be between this and rod and staff, which I also mentioned in my curriculum pick for third grade that's what we would be doing. We did work in some of the grade 2 rod and staff book, and he does really well with it. We probably just go over some other additional topics throughout the summer. So just really trying to figure that out, taking it to the Lord to kind of guide me in that, because I really just want to simplify our homeschool, and I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do that would be. So that's just something I'm still thinking about. Adventures in Phonics Level B. He finished Level A probably, I don't know, early on in the year. We moved into this. He's done a good portion of it. The reason being I had him work on this is because of the phonetics to helping him spell. Spelling was like something that he was struggling with in the beginning of the year. And so these books have been helpful in that. I feel like phonics is helpful in that. So we were just working on this. So the way they have these set up, I believe the books are kindergarten, first, second is how you're supposed to work through the A, B, and C. So they're very advanced compared to like, I don't know, Explode the Code, which is another fun one that we've done in the past. But I liked how this went more in depth and was just more helpful in helping him break down those phonetics and all of that. So this has been good. I don't know that we're going to take it into fourth grade. We kind of stopped bringing it in the rotation probably in term 3. So I don't think it's something necessary that we'll have to keep doing. So this probably will not be coming with us. His nature readers, he was working a little bit on this Nature Smarts workbook, which now will just be something fun he can work on through the summer or whenever on his free time if he wants. We didn't finish the Nature Reader 2, but again, he's always loved doing this. I'm looking into potentially bringing in some other books, maybe some Arabella Buckley books or something, just to do with him, because he does love nature, like nature reading, nature study so much. He's very good about going out and examining what's in our backyard, you know, different animals. He was like following a toad around in our backyard for weeks just to see what it was doing and checking up on it. We have so many birds and different things that he's just always so fascinated with and watching. There's bats in our backyard that he watches at night, so he loves it. So I'm going to still bring some sort of component in it, whether it be a reader for him or one we can do together. I haven't decided what it will be just yet, but we definitely didn't finish that. But he loves it, and all he does is just draw a picture in a primary journal and write something about it, and we kept it really simple. He did keep a vocabulary notebook. Any books that we were doing in any of his reading, or any books that we were reading, and any of those readings, if there were words that maybe he struggled with, didn't know the meaning of, we'd write those down, and on the day that we did vocabulary, he would pull this out, look them up in a dictionary, draw a picture, and write the definition. Just a real simple way to bring in that vocabulary, and you can pull it out from what he's actually reading. So that was helpful. He was working on some reading comprehension through this book, but he did have a lot. We were working with Language Lessons for Living Education, had brought out a workbook similar to Practice Makes Perfect that called Practice Makes Polished, that allowed for extra practice in spelling, grammar, writing. So we were using some of the reading comprehension pages in there. But he enjoyed this as well. He didn't finish it. As you can see, we were only doing this once a week. So again, this will probably just go into like a bin of fun things that he can continue working on should he want to. You get surprised when kids get bored. Sometimes they do pull out things like that and start working on it. This is grammar worksheets from K5 Learning that I was just having him do as morning time practice through, I don't know, the last 2 terms of our homeschool year. We won't be taking it into the following year, I don't believe. I mean, I guess it's a helpful resource if you ever want extra practice in anything, where you can just kind of print these worksheets. And I printed these last year, so I had them, and I was like, let's just work through that for some extra practice. So that's what he did, but we won't be taking that in. So this was his binder with all his science and all that. I've already discussed everything we did as a family, so I'll go ahead and link that video. But this is just kind of where he kept all his work. He also, which I mentioned in my 6th grade video, has a reading journal. So this is, again, from, it's called For the Love of Books. This is from Paper Peony Press. I really like them. They're very inexpensive. I got them, I believe, at christianbook.com. So with his, if you saw her video, she has a lot more writing to do. But with his, it's, information about the book, some things of how he felt, favorite quotes, and then drawing a picture, which is very up his alley. And what would you ask the author if you could? So that's the difference between his and hers. And I like them. They'll continue to put in their books that they finished in the upcoming year. So, and then you can keep a list of books you want to read. There's different things in the front that you can fill out if you want as well. So he is still reading, and this is only because we only read these once a week. So 101 Bible Stories, still reading. And this will come with us no matter what language arts pick we actually go with. He'll continue doing that in the 4th grade. He's reading Moby Dick, so this is something, we're taking kind of a do-nothing week right now since our summer started. So next week he'll start reading these again to me. He has I think 1 lesson or something like that in the McGuffey second reader, and then we'll just pause it and continue with the 3rd eclectic reader for 4th grade. And in the beginning of the year, we were using some lesson sheets that I created to do the lessons. I'm probably going to revisit that depending on where we go next year. So I'm sure I'll update you guys on however we fall in that. But that was when we used the lesson pages to kind of break down the lessons in this book with the vocabulary and reading comprehension, narration, dictation, all of that. So I'll keep you updated on where we're going. But yes, we're going to continue with the McGuffies. Those lesson pages I have made available for free because I know there was some interest in the short that I shared in the beginning of the year of how we do lessons with the McGuffies with those pages. So I've shared those for free. So anybody interested, there's pages for younger children and older children, kind of like the middle school ages and up. So feel free if you want to use those. I'm sure I'll be talking about that more down the road. But yeah, he'll be continuing to read those books to me. And we have been doing some lessons in Ron and Staff. There was just a few things that I wanted him to have a little extra practice with. And this is really good for that because, the whole entire chapter is kind of focused on one thing. So we're just going over that just orally. I'm not even having him write anything down, but it's been helpful for that. That's kind of something we'll be doing during the summer. And honestly, I think that's it. He does have this as an elective, which will be coming with us into the 4th grade year. So this is a fun schooling journal of reptiles and amphibians. And it's, again, research like my daughter's, but this is kind of on different animals. And you kind of either look through books, get books at the library, go online, different ways that you can research these. And he's enjoyed it so far. So that is something he'll continue to do. He's just been working. They'll have a day where they bring out their journals and they work together. They just sit in the living room on the floor and work through their books. So that's something they'll continue to do as well. And I think that's it. I told you it would be fairly quick. I can't really think of anything else I wanted to discuss in his video. The third grade year worked out well. We got a ton done. Worked through a lot. But yeah, he's just growing. He's growing. And from the beginning of the year, he really struggled with writing, spelling. He was struggling with that, and he has come so incredibly far with that. I'm so proud of him. He's definitely found a niche of writing that he really enjoys, and of course, it's about animals or like comic books. So he's been making quite a few comic books. He's even made them and bound them and gave them away to friends. So he's really excited about writing his comic books. And it's so fun to see him get excited about that. So his writing has blossomed and he has a true joy for it, which is such an incredible blessing. I'm just glad to see that both my kids have this joy for writing because it's such a beautiful way of expression, and there's so many things you can write about, and I just think it's wonderful. So he's done a really great job. He's had a lot of growth this year. I'm very, very proud of him. And yeah, we're just excited for what's to come. And we were officially done with our year. We had our last day of school. They filled out their interviews for the end of the year, and we went to Barnes and Noble. They got to each pick out a gift for just having a good year, and in the celebration of that, made breakfast, went and saw Toy Story 5, which actually turned out to be a pretty good movie. My daughter said it was her favorite Toy Story. There was a nice message in that movie, I thought. None of the woke stuff. I know there's like some varying views, but when we saw it, I didn't see any of that. So that was a pleasant surprise, and we had a really fun last day of school. So now we're just hanging out, and we'll carry on some lessons in the upcoming week until we start our new year, which may or may not be August or September. I haven't decided. But that is it. That is it, guys. That's all I have to say or wanted to say about the year, about my third grader. If you have a third grader that finished, let me know. How did their year go? Is there any standout moments that you'd like to chat about? I'd love to know. And I appreciate you hanging out with me. I will see you on the next one, guys. God bless.